don't have a ton of students. I have one other person that I'd like to recognize, and that's Angela Rutledge. Angela allowed me to join her at her table today. Angela is the OCU Staff Employee of the Month. We don't get one of those at luncheons every month. Angela's been a great supporter of ours, and it's always nice to be able to recognize her and her group for sure. Well, we're off and running again. We're obviously in the midst of basketball and wrestling. We're preparing. I think our first baseball game is coming up in 1st of February, right, Danny? Soon to be followed by golf and softball and just kind of our normal crazy time. I would like to point out 2 upcoming events for you. One is this Saturday. We have our Athletic Hall of Fame luncheon. It's Saturday at 11:30. I think today is the deadline to purchase a ticket. So I encourage you to come. 3 of our great former players, certainly many of you, I think the most recent was Kesha Watson on this list. Kesha, with all due respect to our 2 women's basketball players, she might have been the best one ever at OCU. But I encourage you to come if you have the time Saturday morning. That will be in the Great Hall at the Student Union. Then March 25th, we have our Sports Spectacular. This is an event that we do every year. It's an auction and dinner. It's a fundraiser for OCU athletics. At the event, we always honor someone who's made contributions to sports in Oklahoma. And this year, Sam Presti is our honoree. So it's a fun event. I know many of you may have come before. We encourage you to attend if you'd like. We also ask for your help. We do have an auction at the event. We have learned that anything of value can be auctioned, whether it's artwork or jewelry or a dinner or a trip or use of a vacation home, on and on and on. If you can help us find auction items for that event, we would very much appreciate it. We were fortunate last year. We were able to raise about $155,000 in that event. Our goal every year is to do a little bit better. So if you have any questions, let me know or ask any of our coaches. They're all actively involved in this, and we would ask for your support. All right, we're going to start with men's basketball today, and I'm going to, before Dionne comes up, I'm going to tell you that we have practice at 12:30. So he's going to give his report, answer your questions, and immediately run out the door. But here to give us an update on men's basketball, welcome Dionne Phelps.
Well, I'll have to first say I'm glad to be home. We've been on the road for a little bit, and the road hadn't been that kind, to be honest with you. I think since we've been back in January, we went up to Silent Springs, played John Brown. Very tough battle up there. Ended up losing, I think, by 5. Came home, played USAO, played really well against USAO, and got them here. Went back on the road down to Texas, and even though I'm from Texas, they had no love for me. So, but either way, I thought our kids really competed. We went to Lubbock Christian, played there, went into overtime. Maybe if I would have made a couple of different decisions, we probably could have pulled that thing out. Our kids just really battled. We have, it's kind of, the way we've been playing lately has been a lot of our guards kind of like by selection. I'm not sure which one will have a really big night, but I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 of them may step up. And I think against Lubbock Christian, we had one who had 20, Charles Jones had 20, and Terry Johnson had 25, so they had a good game, but we were kind of off when we kind of came off the bench. Our scoring went down a little bit. Went down to Wayland Baptist. Ooh, that was a scary one. With such a short turnaround, we looked up and we were 8-10. We were down 8 or 10-0. And so I figured, man, this is going to be a long night. And then all of a sudden, our guards just woke up. And we turned that game around and put ourselves in position to win that. Down 1, called a timeout, and sometimes what you draw doesn't really work out the way you think it's going to work out. And ended up penetrating and thought we could get all the way to the basket. I wanted to get fouled. Ended up throwing it to a guard who, freshman, and he knew one thing: if I touch this thing, I'm letting it go and I'm gonna shoot it. That wasn't what we had planned, but he did take it, and so he missed it, and they got the rebound, went down and shot free throws, and his head has been down ever since. So we're trying to pick him up. So now we're back. We have Ryder State and OBU coming up, 2 I would love to say that they'd be easy games, but they're not. Both teams are, I think, ranked in the top 15 in the country. OBU obviously in the top 5. And then we'll turn around on Tuesday, I think, and we'll have Mid-America. So Sooner Conference is what it's always been, very competitive. We have to find our groove and get things going back in the direction we wanted to go. We're a little limited with bigs. If you haven't seen us play, I think we're right now down to 1 big man. So we're playing small ball, but we're trying to play as fast as we can and trying to dribble by as many people as we can. But outside of that, we're looking forward to tomorrow. Our guys are hungry to play Ryder State, and we'll see what happens. But we're definitely feeling confident to go in and at least compete as hard as we can. So you guys have any questions? I think some of you guys may go ahead.
You got anybody coming in this semester?
No, we have no one coming in at semester. We shopped around and we looked around, and some of the things that I saw out there were very talented guys, but I'm not sure if they met the our chemistry or the campus chemistry, but very talented. But whether their GPAs were a little low and things like that, or it was a character issue, I didn't really want to mess with that. So we're going to go ahead with what we have and fight through. Hopefully Terrence Johnson, I think you guys have seen him in a boot. I think we're going to test him out on Saturday. He's been out since, I think, Thanksgiving. So he's been down for quite a bit. So hopefully if we can get him back, he can help. But we'll see. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to women's basketball. Among other things, this last week I don't want to steal Latricia's report, but we defeated the #1 team in the country on the road, which is always fun. Oh, and she doesn't use the microphone.
Don't use that microphone, I don't. Well, we've had some exciting times. I do want to thank you again. I'm probably going to thank you every time I stand up here. I'm just going to tell you because you're so consistent with your positive support, and we appreciate you very much. The phone calls, the emails, the text messages, and I want you to know that I do relay those messages to our young ladies, and they appreciate it, and I don't know if it's more of that or the candy you send with us on road trips. I see them dig into it. I think they're both equally as important, so I appreciate you very much. I want to also thank, and I don't say this enough, to Brandy, because there's things that make up a game day environment. Pep band, you in the stands, and cheering from the baseline. So Brandy, please tell your group that we appreciate them very much and for being at our game. So give cheer and palm and spirit and all that. Well, my favorite topic, bragging on our women's basketball team. We have 2 young ladies here that you just met, Lauren Gober and Jessica Langston, and they're the main reasons why we're so successful right now. Jessica Langston, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch her play, you've got to. My dad calls her a water bug. She is all over the floor. She does those things that most players don't want to do. She'll dive on the floor. One of our best on-ball defenders, one of our top scorers on our team. She's our best free throw shooter percentage-wise, 91%. She's ranked 3rd in the country in that. And I had the opportunity to coach Jessica the last 3 years, 2 years in Colorado, and she is an Okie, and so I'm so blessed to have her and voted team captain as a newcomer. And Jessica, I love you, and I appreciate you so very much. Please give Jessica a big round of applause. Lauren Gober, nursing major, just gets it done. She has tied the 3-point record so far with 8 3-pointers in 2 basketball games. She's a 2-time All-American. She was a national champion last year, and just my small experience, or a short time experience being with Lauren, has just been amazing. What a good girl. What just a good student athlete. And you know, it's really nice to know that when a player shoots the basketball, in my mind, in my heart, I just know it's going in. I just know it. I mean, I have that much confidence in this young lady. Already received her 1,000th career point and couldn't do it without her. Could not do it without her. So Give a big round of applause for Lauren Gober. And I have another 8 girls that I really appreciate very much as well. In fact, I'm going to mention Katie Hall again because she was here at the last Blue and White Luncheon. Best kept secret, and we're going to recognize her tomorrow really briefly after our game. But Katie, as our starting post player, received her 1,000th career point while we were on the road. And that's pretty good for a young lady that doesn't shoot 3-pointers. And so hopefully you'll be there at our game tomorrow to support all of our players, but especially Katie there after our game. Well, the last time I visited with you, we were heading to sunny beach, Santa Barbara, California, right after Christmas. It was an amazing tournament. If you haven't been to Santa Barbara, go. It's beautiful. We played the number 4 team in the country that hosted the tournament. We beat them, turned around and played a very talented team in San Diego, Christian, beat them. So I was thinking about, I'm going to be this cool coach, right? I'm going in the locker room. You know, we stayed outside of Santa Barbara. It's a little cheaper, so we drove 25 minutes in, down the coastline. We saw a whale, sea lions, people surfing. So we only can see it inside the van, though. We look and go, oh, look, girls. That's our sightseeing, right? We got to stay focused on the games. And so after our 1 o'clock game on Saturday, leaving there 2-0, feeling great, I walk in and said, okay, girls. I said, let's go sightseeing. We can go to the beach. We can go down State Street. That's a popular street in Santa Barbara. I said, we can drive down the pier. And they were just looking at me, okay, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm not as cool as I thought I was, right, going in. And so we did go to the beach. It rained there that morning, but great pictures. We stayed there about 30 minutes, did some team bonding. Get back in the van 30 minutes later, and I said, well, let's go to the hotel, change, and then we will go to State Street and drive down the pier. This is how invested this team is. This is how special they are. So I said that in the van, and I hear whispering in the back. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? So one of the girls in the back of the van said, Coach, do you mind if we go back to the gym and watch the rest of the basketball games? And I gave birth to every one of them. I thought, so we actually went back to the hotel, got about 10 minutes to change back in our travel suits, and we sat in the gym the rest of the evening watching girls basketball. So that, you can't ask for anything more than that. Came back, started conference. We are currently 4-0 in conference. We play tomorrow, Rogers State. They're ranked 13th in the country, and they are also undefeated. So it's going to be a battle. Turn around and play on Saturday at 3 p.m. against Oklahoma Baptist, and then turn around at home and play Tuesday against Mid-America. And so hopefully you'll be there, support us. Preseason we started at number 10 in the country. We put the work gloves on. We have goals to accomplish. We moved to number 8. We moved to number 6, and then as of yesterday, we've moved to number 4 team in the country. So I can't ask for anything more. Their effort, their dedication is absolutely fantastic. And so hopefully, again, we'll continue to put on a good show and work extremely hard in the classroom as well as on the court. And Happy New Year. Thank you very much. And one day to game day. Fire up. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Where are your game day shirts?
I have a question. I wonder, would you just share a little bit about Kesha Watson to the group, that you worked with her as well?
I did. As some of you that don't know, I was at OCU prior to me coming back, so I'm back home now. Kesha Watson was just an amazing young lady. She actually came and visited our team over Thanksgiving break. And she came in, we introduced her to our team. She talked to them about hard work and dedication and what it takes to be successful and get to the next level. And OCU got it right when they're going to put her in the Hall of Fame. Good person, good family, and I wish she had eligibility. I would grab her. Can we work on that, Josh, a little bit? She just was one of those players that set the example. And I'm really excited about her coming on Saturday. She is actually going to be our honorary coach and sit with us on the bench during our game. And she's going to spend some time with our young ladies. And if you haven't seen her or been a part of her tradition, get to know her. Come meet her. Come to the lunch. Our entire team will be there on Saturday. And I'm excited to see her again. And I got to find some eligibility somewhere. Josh, help. Yeah. Thank you guys very much.
And now we're going to move to Spirit Tom. So here to give us an update on some of our upcoming competitions, welcome our head coach, Brandy Corcoran.
I brought some flyers and stuff for everything that goes on in the spring. The only time you get to see us without being on the sideline, when we actually compete and do our performance routines, happens in the spring. We have February 2nd is the NAIA Southern Regional. We have 9 teams that are, well, we have 9 schools coming in, and from those 9 schools end up being about 18 teams. We compete in all-girl, large co-ed, small co-ed, large dance, small dance, and then mascots. So there's 6 different divisions. It goes by pretty quick because the routines are only 2.5 minutes long, and by the time you get them done, it makes for a pretty short evening. But we are actually going to do that on February 2nd after the basketball games. So basketball games, we've moved them up a little bit that day. They've been gracious to help us out, and we're playing at 12 and 2 that day. And then when we get done, we're going to turn around and have our competition at 5 that evening. The next day, which is the 3rd, Super Bowl Sunday, not a great day to have it, but we have our first stunt tournament, and that's when we have to go against everybody bigger than us. We have OSU coming in that day and Central Oklahoma coming in that day. We will play each one of them. We won't have a triad or a quad. It'll actually be one-on-one games. So we have scheduled for us to go first against OSU, and then OSU and UCO will play each other, and then we'll finish up playing UCO. Getting to host the tournament puts a little strategy in it, because OSU, when we make it to the finals in April, OSU will be competing against another Division I school. Because there's not a whole separate stunt division for NAIA, we're going to have to go against UCO, which is who clipped us in the finals last year. So my thought was, we'll go fresh against OSU, give it all we've got, rest, watch them against OSU, and then get them while they're tired. So hopefully we are triumphant in taking care of business on that Sunday. But we played them 3 times last year, kicked them every time, 1 time by 15 points, and then turned around and they got us in the finals when it counted. So we lost that national championship to them and don't plan on doing it again. In addition to that, there's some more things coming up in March and April, and they are on this. So as you leave, I'll be standing at the door and you can grab one just so you can kind of look and see what's ahead for us. It has been a very interesting year so far. In fact, the state director from the National Association was in today watching practice, and we couldn't do anything right. I mean, I literally was looking at the team and I felt like it was not good. And here he is coming in, checking everything out, and we're feeling good about everything, and we did nothing right. So we kind of pulled in, regrouped for a minute, and I just did a show of hands right in front of him. I said, how many of you have never competed at college nationals before? And out of the 60 people that we will be competing down there with, 32 raised their hand. And that's on 3 different teams. I had one team that out of the 17 that are stepping on the mat, only 6 have ever competed. So that gave me a little better feeling of why we've been good the last couple of weeks, and somebody comes in to watch and we look like we've never had a practice in our life. So every single one of you are invited to practice every day if you would like to. We have got to get these people doing stuff in front of people so we can work out some of these jitters before we get down there. So we've got a couple of recruits coming in on Friday. I am now looking for recruits every single day of practice. We practice early. It's hard to get motivated at 6:30 in the morning to throw people around and get punched in the face and everything else that happens. And I get that. I've been there, done that, and I understand it. But at the same time, it's been working out great for recruiting, because these kids can only miss a half a day of school. They come in, they watch practice or participate in sometimes, and then can turn around and take a 9 o'clock tour. So it works out good to get their college days in. So hopefully I can at least fill up some of our practices this spring with some recruits coming in, so they'll at least give us some attention out there and hopefully work out some of these jitters between these new kids. But graduating as many as we did last year, it's been a big turnover and it's been hard, but we'll be fine, we'll be good, we'll be there. We'll see how this weekend goes in February and then regroup as needed. So, any questions? Thank you very much.
Well, cheerleading practice practice sounds pretty tough, doesn't it? Getting kicked in the face at 6:30 in the morning, or hit in the face. I'm not sure when that would ever be a fun thing to do.
You just take it a little bit better in the afternoon than you do in the morning.
Okay. I'll take your word for that. I encourage you to come. For some of you, listening to Brandy talk about games and competitions, it probably seems very foreign. And we've decided as a university that we want to be at the head of this. And I've asked Brandy to keep us there, and that's where we are. So I encourage you to come, if only to maybe understand it a little bit better. I will tell you, in terms of practice, at least part of what you will leave there with is you will absolutely be able to count to 8. My office is right above where we practice, and we actually have a recording of someone singing 1, 2, 3, 4. So everything is based around 8. I know that much about it. I'm kind of joking. What I want you to understand is they work very hard, and it's not easy. It's a heck of a lot of fun to watch, so I encourage you to come. All right, Melody, you ready to give some stuff away?